Welcome back to some more Cardfight Vanguard Zero. So I don't really have anything too intricate planned out for this episode, so I think I'm just gonna play more of the story mode, basically. And we're gonna keep going until we unlock whatever these two things at the bottom here are. So this one here on the right, I'm thinking is probably like the online multiplayer. I don't know what this is though. So I guess we'll find out once we've unlocked it. So how do we unlock these? Grade 11 and grade 8. So currently I'm at grade 2. And I need to win one time against Aichi in the character fight. Wait, haven't I already done that? Or is that the challenge fight? Is there a difference between those two? I already beat Aichi though, so... let's just do whatever this is. I like that when you tap on the thing, it'll... Oh, okay. So this is a different thing. In character fight, you can have a fight with everyone that comes to card capital. And by that we mean 4 characters. Sure. By completing the character fight, you may obtain materials to craft characters of that character, craft cards of that character's clan. Thinking about creating a particular deck without enough cards? No worries, you can get them in character fight. Let's have a fight with everyone and get the crafting materials you aim for. By doing this fight over and over again, your friendship with everyone will further increase. Please make sure to try that out. Over and over again? That sounds a bit grindy. Oh, wow. Yeah, I need to fight Aichi 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Alright. Well, let's fight him once for now. I don't think I'm going to do all 5 fights in a row. That might be a bit tedious. Maybe we'll do them every once in a while. But when using Royal Paladin, we're moving 6 turns and we're in with 4 damage or less. And it takes up 5 stamina. So... we're going to use my deck, the only deck I have, and here's the auto fight feature. You see that on the bottom left near where I'm tapping. Yeah, this game has the option to just let the game do the card fight for you, and I guess that's for grinding. I guess it's like, if you're trying to grind for specific things, you can just have the game play itself until you have the thing you want. Don't know if I love that feature. I don't know what the point in playing this game is if you're not actually going to, play the game. Oh, okay, so this is the mulligan feature. Nice. Actually, I'm kind of happy with this hand. I guess I'll get rid of one of those, and I'll get rid of one of those, and I'll mulligan for those two. Yep, okay. Basically, rule of thumb for mulliganing is you want around about an even amount of each clan, not clan, of each grade in your hand, and I've got more or less an even amount, with it leaning heavier towards the grade 1s, but that's a good thing. So he's going to carry out his turn. I feel like he's got a better version of the Raw Paladin deck than I have. I still have a handful of Cray Elementals in there, so that's probably not the best thing to have, but we'll see. Okay, so when its card is put to your soul... Okay, so I don't want him on my Vanguard, and I don't particularly want him on my Vanguard either. Whoops. Nope. Don't want the menu open. Okay. Let's put him on. And he's not going to have enough power, so we're going to put him there too. And then we'll bow. And, yeah. So one thing I realized between episodes is actually I probably don't have all too many triggers in this deck, do I? So I'm going to want to fix that as soon as I get the chance to. But let's see if we can win this anyway, He only has 4 life points, so as long as I can tank some hits and just keep powering through, I think I should be fine anyway. Because whilst his deck seems like it's better than mine, well, I have the advantage by having 2 more life than him, which I, of course, took 2 damage that turn, but you know. Okay, so let's get a grade 2 out. And we'll put that grade 2 on the Vanguard. And that's going to open us up because now... Sure. Let's see. This unit boosts in Alfred. Alright, we'll put that on that Vanguard. And we'll call out... I probably should have put that in the bottom middle. So I could ride... Alfred next turn, but that's fine. I guess I could Ragard him. And that could still work anyway. I don't know. I guess we'll see. So we're going to attack with this one because it has the least attack and doesn't have anything behind to boost it. And then we are going... So these all basically have the same attack, but if these both go through, that should be great for us. Yep, that's still enough attack to go through. And yep, no triggers. Yeah, I don't seem to have very many triggers in this deck, so I'm going to have to fix that as soon as I get the chance to. But we only need to hit him one more time, so that's a very good position for us. As long as we don't take 4 bits of damage this turn, which I don't even think is possible, really. Because I think, realistically, he could only ever try to do 3 damage to me, and he wasted one of his attacks. Oh no, he wasted his effect trying to get rid of that Ragard, and I've got a grade 2. And so, realistically, I'm only really going to take 2 damage here. Yeah, and he's going to get a crit. Okay. So it's going to actually do 2 damage to me instead of 1. That's alright. I can still tank that. So as long as I can get 1 damage in here, I'm basically good to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ride Alfred. I know I should have Ragarded him, but that's fine. And then I'm just gonna play these. And I should be fine now. Yeah, that's okay, got it. So I'm gonna want to get rid of this Ragard first, and I'm gonna want to get rid of the other front Ragard. And then we could just attack with Alfred and hope the attack goes through, and then I win, basically. So that was a very simple card fight. And hey, I actually got one of my very few triggers, so that's good. Well, I'm gonna give the power to Alfred, because why wouldn't I, you know? As long as it's... Oh, and a crit! Cool! So that's gonna do 2. So, yep, that was a bit overkill, but I did it, nonetheless. So that's good. And... Oh, unless he gets a heal trigger. Nah, he isn't gonna. Cool! In fact, I don't even think that heal trigger would have worked, because he doesn't have as much health as me anyway. Or at least... I have more health than him by default. Cool. Friend level up. So I got quite a lot of crafting material that I feel like. So I might be able to craft some more of the cards I need. So I might take a quick look at that. Wow, that was a great fight. I did lose, but it makes me realize how big the Vanguard world is. There's still a lot more strong fighters I don't know yet. It somehow excites me when thinking about it. Thank you so much today. Please fight me again next time. Cool. I mean, thinking about it, doing the multiple different friend fights with the same character over and over again, I guess that is them trying to recreate the experience of having a close group of friends that you can't fight on a regular basis. And it's not like it is just you doing the exact same fight over and over again, because it does change slightly as time goes on. So I guess that's not too grindy depending on how they handle it. So that's going to get us back up to grade 3 now. So that's going to give us some more gems, so that's good. Not very many gems, but just grading up will give us quite a lot of gems, and we've got more stamina now too, so that's good. So we want to clear Story Ride 5, and we're going to want to win once against Aichi in a character fight. So basically, to grade up again, it's pretty much the same thing. It's the same thing that was to grade up previously anyway. So where is the character fight? Because that's the challenge fight over here. Like, I know I can get to the character fights by pressing the grade in the corner, and then just getting into it from there. Oh, okay, this is where the character fight is. Cool, got it. So I can't do these yet, I need to get to grade 9. So it's very much railroading me into using Royal Paladins to start off with, but I think that's fine. I think that's a good way of getting used to the game. Royal Paladin is a pretty beginner-friendly clan, because it's a very straightforward one. So, now we're gonna do Ride 5, Assault Twin Drive. When using Oracle Think Tank. Huh. Oh, okay, so we're playing as Misaki now. Is that the case? That's interesting. So, Misaki's deck revolves around, milling and ordering your deck and pulling triggers at the right time. I remember that because Misaki's, she had the whole eidetic memory thing, which meant she could remember the order of the cards in her deck. Like I said, everything in this card game anime was put together in a way specifically to make it easier for you to understand the card game. So Morikawa had his obsession with grade 3s, so you learned that having a balance of grade 3s is good rather than just relying on too much. And then Misaki had the eidetic memory to make you realize how important it is to pull triggers at the right time. Everything in the anime was built solely around understanding the card game. And I think that's part of, not to dip into some more Shinemon episode reviews during this playthrough, but I think that's part of the problem with the Shinemon arc. It doesn't feel like the Shinemon arc has had quite that much care and thought put into it, because it doesn't really follow that same kind of mindset. Like I said, if you think of a character from the original Vanguard, you can think of the playstyle or the lesson or whatever to do with them, like how Misaki has the eidetic memory. But with the characters in the Shinemon arc, not really. Mark's a ninja, I guess. So that's something. Yeah, none of the characters really kind of follow that philosophy as much, and I think it works better the way the 2011 anime did it, because, yeah, it just felt more natural, I guess, because every character had their very clear and defined way of playing the game. And that worked. It made every character memorable, and it made the card fights clear and easy to follow, but I don't really think the Shinemon arc really has that. But enough of the Shinemon arc, let's actually focus on trying to defeat Aichi. So, we'll see if we can do this. I'm not the most familiar with this deck, but we'll see. I'll take the first turn, okay. So, I will draw. I'm noticing it didn't let me mulligan there, and I'm wondering if that's because the story fights are intentionally scripted to be as similar to the anime as possible or not. So, okay, so that's a perfect guard. So I guess I'm just gonna ride Gemini, the weird babies with the robot face, and then we're gonna move Lozenge to the back. Yeah, and then I can just kind of end my turn. I know I could put down these cards, but as usual, if I put those to the rear guard, then he's just going to destroy them, and there's nothing I can really do about it. So there's no point putting him down quite yet. Not unless I can attack with them anyway. So as you can see up there, they've now added the auto button there. So if I ever just, decide, I'm kind of done with this game, I don't really want to play it anymore, it can just play itself. And again, I guess that's an option, but I don't really know what that option's for necessarily. I can't really see why you'd want to play this game and then just play the auto function. I don't really get it. I know RPGs like Persona had a similar option, so I guess it's just for grinding. I got it. Draw trigger. When revealed, it allows me to draw an extra card. The ability to draw extra cards. Is that really helpful? Come on, Aichi. Everyone knows that draw power is a really big deal in these kinds of card games. God, I remember back when I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! On a regular basis. Wow, I have a massive hand. I only just realized that. When I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! On a regular basis, like, back then, I don't know if things have changed since then, but back then, during, like, the Zexal era, you basically had to rip off and eat your own arm if you wanted to actually draw any cards, just because draw power was that valuable. Whereas nowadays, I don't know how they handle it nowadays, but it's funny to think about compared to something like Pokemon, where Pokemon, they like let you draw a card every time you fucking sneeze. So it's just funny how different games value draw power differently. So I think I'm gonna place, it's either him or her. During a time the hand has 3 more cards, this unit gets, oh no, putting that, yep. Okay, I see how this deck works, got it. And then I'm gonna place these 2 on the rear guard. And then I think I might put Gemini down behind one of these guys. I probably shouldn't have played too many cards in my hand, because that's just going to make my Mocha weaker. But I think I can handle it right now. I feel like, I feel like this is going to be a pretty, unless he has perfect guards, but I don't think he can really use the perfect guards yet anyway, really. So, you know what, we're going to attack with Mocha next because she's weaker. And I don't get anything. But does he get anything? And I'm going to have just enough to do one more attack. So this is going pretty well. I notice he's only got 5 damage points rather than 6. So again, I feel like this story mode is very much railroading you into getting the same outcome that happened in the actual anime. Which is why they're doing things like not letting you mulligan and giving him less damage points. Which I guess is fine. It kind of reminds me of one of the Yu-Gi-Oh games. I can't remember what it was. Legacy of the Duelist, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was Legacy of the Duelist, where like where that was basically just a PC version of this, where you'd replay through Yu-Gi-Oh's anime storyline, and they very much railroaded you as much as possible into trying to get the same outcome and results and stuff as the anime. So in that game, they very much recommended you won duels by winning the exact same way the actual anime characters did. And I feel like that's what they're going for here too. So, alright, so he did quite a bit of damage to me there, but that's actually leaving me open for quite a few options. So I'm probably gonna wanna ride Amaterasu. So, ooh, that's a good effect. The star's main phase, Soul Charge 1. Look at the top card of your deck and put it to the top or bottom. Oh, interesting. When this card's unit attack, I can... Okay, so yeah, I'm going to put that in the front. And it's going to play the pretty animation. It's going to... it is very weird to me that this has gone back to the retro 2011 art style. I'm so used to the more like generic reboot era art style, which is a lot more slick and shiny. But so it's weird to see the kind of more rough around the edges, but more kind of charming art style of the old anime. I feel like that wasn't the most wise marketing move to make on their end, to go for the older art style, because even if you are just doing the 2011 anime, you could still go with the reboot art style and make new assets and stuff. But I don't know, it's just interesting to think about. I think I prefer it this way. It's just weird because I'm so used to always seeing the reboot character designs and stuff. Amaterasu's special ability. I get to preview the next card and leave it on top, or I can put it at the bottom of my deck. How exactly is that going to help you? Ah, you see, I can just basically make sure that I have critical triggers at the top of my deck at all times. I mean, that's a trigger, so I'm going to place that on the top, because, I mean, having a trigger at my top is good, right? So I'm going to put another Amaterasu on my rear guard, and I can counterblast to draw one card. Okay, yeah, I see where this is going, right? So, now I'm going to want to do that. Pesky grade 2 is getting in my way of actually doing much real damage, but I mean, honestly, if I could draw a critical, I mean, I can't because I already know what trigger is at the top of my deck, but if I could draw a critical, then I could still theoretically win this turn. Yep, I get to twin drive trick. They're saying this as if I haven't already done the tutorial stuff, but oh well, that's fine. I guess they're just really making sure you know this stuff by now. I guess there's always the chance you could get to this point without doing a lot of the tutorial stuff. So we're going to do that. And we're going to attack. Yes, I want to draw a card. Give me a card. Thank you. So yeah, I actually quite like this deck. Because, again, I actually really like draw power. As I mentioned back in the day with Yu-Gi-Oh, you basically did have to, like, do something equivalent to ripping off your own arm to actually draw a card. So because of that, I've kind of been sort of natured into valuing high draw power. And so this deck's actually kind of working for me. I'm still going to have to, like, give it more time to kind of wrap my head around it. And, yep. Put it at the top or bottom? I mean, that's a heal trigger, so I'm going to place that at the top because I like heal triggers. So, now we're in our main phase, so yeah, I'm going to place that so I can draw another card. later on. Then I'm not really going to want to do anything with that one though, so we're going to, when place, look at the top. I mean, I already know what the top card of my deck is though, so it's not most useful, but we'll place it down anyway. And yep, we're going to keep that on top. I'm extra sure I need it, don't worry. And then we're going to battle, and we're going to need to get rid of these two front rear guards. So he's already doing a pretty good job of making sure that, okay, so who are we going to want to give this to? I'm going to give it to that Amaterasu. And then we're going to get nothing, yep. And now we're going to want to get rid of the other front rear guard. And then we can attack, and if that attack goes through, then we should be fine. So yeah, we're going to drag that to invoke. I like dragging to invoke, that's good, rather than just pressing a button. And now we're going to do this, and that should be the end of the card fight. Nice. Assuming he doesn't get a heal trigger, but I don't think he will, yeah. Nice. And we got 3 stars in that, cool. So, that's basically gonna be where I end it for today, since that's the end of that card fight, and we're around 20 minutes. We're gonna just quickly get through this little cutscene bit here. And this is just Shin mothering Aichi. And yeah, that's us done with that card fight. Yeah, I'm really having fun with this. Now that I've actually had like a lot of time to kind of spend with this game, I'm really having fun with it. I think this is really good. It's way better than I could ever ask for from a mobile game, I think is the big thing. So yeah, I guess I will see you later in the next part where I'll be playing even more.